Episode 3 of the Section O podcast. We have a really awesome guest right now. I don't know how we snagged this, but the powers that be. Please tell everybody who doesn't know who I'm talking to, who are you?
I'm Len Rhodes. I'm an Eskimo fan.
Now, random Eskimo fan Len Rhodes, do you have any other job description other than being a fan?
I just look after the people that love our game and buy tickets, and that's what counts. Actually, very, very happy. How you snagged me is the fact that you guys in Section O are incredible, and you represent everything that fans are about, and the energy and the positive culture that you bring, and you just actually challenge all other fans to do the same, and I'm very proud of you guys, and we always count on you to be behind the team.
Now, I don't know if you're down with our history, but we actually kind of ripped this idea off. Are you familiar with the Box J Boys from Hamilton?
I am. Yes, I am. Yeah.
The Box J Boys is kind of who we idolized for a while, and we thought that Edmonton never really had something like this. So Box J Boys, thank you very much. You've been our inspiration, and kudos to you. Len Rhodes says kudos to you. Now, we're out here in Spruce Grove. It's not the confines of Commonwealth, it's not the perfect setup that you want, but everything that we see so far seems to be going off without a hitch. The hotel is 10 feet away from the field. Can you kind of explain how the players are kind of adapting to this situation?
Players love it. The coaches too. Head coach Jones just thinks it's remarkable. Spruce Grove has turned out to be a great facility. We've come out here for the last 2 years for Father's Day for a practice, but this year our official fan day took place, and we had 1,300 at the last count, which is a great turnout. In terms of the team, 2 fields it's phenomenal. They're in great shape, but it allows drills to be done, conditioning on the other field. So a lot of opportunities for the coaches to work that way. And to your point, the Holiday Inn Express just next adjacent to the field is a way that we're giving back to the community. When Spruce Grove accepted that we come play here for training camp, they asked that we support Spruce Grove in return, and one of the aspects is having our players and coaches stay at the Holiday Inn right here on the site. It's just no more need for buses to go there. Keeps everyone together, and it's a great facility. So what turned out 2 years ago to be a challenge when we heard that FIFA was coming to town, we found solutions coming to Spruce Grove for training camp. They love it, and the next step is a northern kickoff where we're going to make history. It's going to be the most northern game CFL history in Fort McMurray, June 13th. You want tickets, it's northernkickoff.ca. There's still some available.
Have you ever been to the MAC?
I have several times. The last 2 years, about 6 times. First time I had a great opportunity to have an aerial helicopter tour of the oil sands, and it was just an incredible thing. And what I'm really proud of, we got TSN to commit to cover the game, so it's going to be covered across the country. And it's about time we showcase in Fort McMurray in a northern positive light, so that people see it for what it is. It's a great celebration of great people doing fabulous things. All of Canada will be able to see this northern kickoff, and it's been great to be here.
Quickly to end this off, because this episode is going to air right before the game. Fans that are going up, what can they expect at the stadium?
It's going to be a celebration. If fans go up the day before and the Friday, there's going to be events going on throughout the town. Saturday before the game in the afternoon, something called Rock the Lot on McDonald Island Park, and it's fabulous. It's going to be a barbecue, a party, beer tents, everything you can imagine.
Oh, beer tents, that's awesome.
Yeah, you got to have beer tents. Molson Coors is there, so that's fabulous. And then the actual game. The mayor, Melissa Blake, is just ecstatic that we're coming to town. Similar to the Spruce Grove story, we're bringing our brand, the Eskimo brand, across northern Alberta, and that's what it's about. We're the Edmonton Eskimos, but we're northern Alberta's team.
Last but not least, favorite AC/DC song?
There's so many good ones. Other than Big Balls, I guess Thunderstruck is the one.
You going to the concert?
Oh, I sure am.
you got any hookups for Section O in the President's Suite?
You're on your own for that one.
Thanks for coming out, Len.
Thanks, Matt.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Len Rhodes on the Section O podcast. Well, we take it away from Len Rhodes, and guess who's back in studio for the Section O podcast on episode 3? We've got Section GP, Rory, and another friend of ours, farther up from Grand Prairie, we've got Section Peace River, Darryl. Rory, what's going on the Section O podcast?
Well, here we are, man. One more week, and we're 1 day away from this preseason. I'm so freaking stoked. It's like, oh my God, dude.
Darryl, your thoughts on this?
Game for about 2 years and finally going. Can't wait.
Oh, man, it's so awesome. We had a big Eskimo fan like Len Rhodes, and I say big Eskimo fan because he kind of has another job title. That was fantastic freaking interview, man. And, how was the cheer team party?
The cheer team party is great every year. It's an awesome fundraiser. They raise a lot of money because, as I said in the interview with Sam, they have to pay their own way to go to these events. They have a competition they go to down in California. They have to pay their way for the Grey Cup, hotel rooms, funds, all that. I really wish, though, the bar that they were in, the Ranch Roadhouse, would kind of help them out a little bit more. And not because that they didn't do a good job. It's just after it was done, they buried them with the Edmonton Rush. They were promoting the cheerleaders and the Edmonton Rush at the same time. And then after their cheer team extravaganza was done, all the focus shifted to the Rush, which is, fine. I mean, the Rush won the NLL Cup. I get that. But if you're going to promo your event, let's focus on one thing. Also, too, another thing that is you got this one bartender that was throwing ice onto the dance floor as the cheer team were trying to perform. A, that's super rude. B, it's fucking dangerous. Like, what are you thinking? But, I'm not a big fan of that bar to begin with. They blocked me on Twitter, mostly because I called them out the previous 2 years. They claim to be Edmonton's biggest supporters, but then yet every time the Rough Riders come in, they turn their back on Edmonton, and they have the Saskatchewan Appreciation Party where everybody in that bar turns into the biggest Saskatchewan fans. And you know what? It's just reeks of hypocrisy that they can support the Edmonton Eskimos one day and then completely the other they're going to do the Riders. But you know what? That's my piece on it. That's neither here nor there.
Well, it sounds like a freaking horseshit bar. Sounds like you may as well just take it, put it on a trailer, take it down Highway 2 and plant it next to the Deerfoot.
Could you imagine a bar in Edmonton having Calgary Flames Appreciation Night?
No.
Rory, you got something for me. What's up?
I just wanted to share everyone our freaking passion on game day. I wish everybody would buy in with this freaking huge passion, celebration. A football game day across the United States is a full-day event. People in Kansas City fucking line up the day before and start tailgating the day before a football game. It's like a 2-day event, and they party all night long after an afternoon football game. Now, I'm not expecting Northern Albertans to necessarily go that fucking far, but if you could buy into it and really make some fun.
Rory, tell me about game day at Section GP.
Well, much like people do in the good old US of A, we like to make a full fucking tailgate event out of it. A full day event. Hours before the game, we like to stock up on beer and food, turn up our music real loud, throw the football around in the backyard, have some fun, joke around, sing the fight song, just go crazy. And when the game comes on, it's game on. We're fully engaged, just as though we're sitting at the stadium. Geez, just during the game, I'll say things that Al Stafford says. I'll be pretty much the stadium PA announcer. The whole neighborhood has to listen to every single down. Let's have some fun with it. I want other Eskimo fans to buy into it and do the same thing. Whether you live in Edmonton, Whitecourt, Grand Prairie, Fort McMurray, Tuktoyaktuk, Afghanistan, I don't fucking care. Let's turn on the TV. Let's crank it up. Let's have some fucking fun the way real football fans do.
You the same way, Darryl?
Amen, brother.
What do you do in Section Peace River?
I get in my car, and I drive down to Commonwealth Stadium, and I sit in my seats, Section S, row 13, seats 11, 12, and 13. Obviously, I don't take up all 3 seats. I usually have 2 people with me. And then we scream our frickin' faces off, right 13 rows up behind the visitors' bench. They fucking hear me, and they know I'm there.
How many games a year do you make from Peace River?
It varies with my schedule, but season ticket holder since 2008. It was something that a coworker and I got into to save seats for the 2010 Grey Cup when it was in Edmonton. And I just hung on to them ever since. So which games I make vary. Labor Day rematch is always impossible to get to, but I usually make it down to Calgary for the Labor Day game. But usually it's on average 5 games a year.
Speaking of making it down to Calgary, you came down with us to the Western Final last year. It was me, you, Darryl, Jay and Peter were coming down the next day. And then we met Dana and her crew down there, and we all went out for supper at the Keg.
Yeah, and, at the West End, right?
You have a funny story that you'd like to share with us about dinner at the Keg.
Yeah, that was an interesting dinner because we randomly happened on the TSN crew was having dinner there. I think the Esks were staying at that hotel as well.
There were a couple of Esks in the bar, yeah.
Yeah. So we seen some Esks. Mike Riley was there with his family there. We left him alone, just kind of like a quick, hey, good luck in the game tomorrow kind of thing. But remember seeing the TSN crew there. Was it Rod Black, Lapo, fucking Dunnigan was there.
Jock Climie.
Jock Climie. Yeah, and Jock Climie, so, we'll spare your listeners any brutal details or whatever, but, got nature calls, right? Hit the can, and on my way out of there, I do what responsible citizens of the world do, and I wash my fucking hands. And Jock Climie was, at the one stall. I just kind of, the bathroom is not the place to strike up a conversation with anyone. So I say nothing and I wash my hands. I've got my back to Jock, and I hear flush, and then straight for the door he goes, and totally bypasses the sanitary receptacle with the soap and the water. Into the bar he goes, shaking hands and making physical contact with a couple of the Esks coaches and players that were sitting up around the bar there. I have no idea what that was about.
I just want to say something. If I was Jock Climie in that situation, I'd want to avoid talking to Section Peace River as well. After all, in 2011, I said the Eskimos wouldn't win more than 9 games, and they ended up winning 11 games. So as soon as I see an Eskimo fan in the fucking bathroom, I got to skip all personal hygiene altogether. He said the Eskimos wouldn't win more than 9 games. I'm shedding light on Jock Climie doing anything to avoid talking to an Eskimo fan.
You know what? That conundrum in the washroom could have went down differently had Darryl called him out on his bullshit right there.
Yeah, he might have had the opportunity to pause, realize that he hadn't, in fact, washed his hands, and maybe done just that. Who knows?
Did he go back to eating after?
I can't remember the specifics like that. I know we resumed drinking. So the rest of the night got a little fuzzy.
I remember we were all sitting at the table. I think we just finished our food, and then we were ordering another round of drinks to piece it out of there because we were going to that Irish bar across the street. And you come in, and you're just flustered, and you're like, I have to tell you a story. And we're like, me and Dana look at each other. Dale is sitting right beside you, and you're kind of hesitant, and Dale's kind of like, okay, you going to tell us? And you just kind of just pause, and you go, Jock Climie didn't wash his hands after taking a pee. And then we all just collectively kind of stopped, and we knew where they were sitting, and we all just slowly turned to the TSN table, and there's Jock Climie shaking hands with, you got pee on your hands.
Yeah, I remember that. It, again, like I said.
That game, you know what? I really wish that game went down differently because there is no other better feeling in the world to beat horsefuck Calgary to go to the Grey Cup.
Oh, yeah, I hear you, man. It is the one thing the Esks have to do this year. You know what? I got a bunch of Rider fans, they call themselves Rider fans, but they don't even know how the season goes down half the time. They're so delusional. Asking me how the Esks have to be better next year because they were clearly not good in their opinion. And all I have for them is beat Calgary. And then they ask me to elaborate. And then I go, well, okay, let me put it in more specific terms for you then. The Edmonton, Alberta, Canada Eskimos, who play typically at Commonwealth Stadium, must enter any CFL-sanctioned playing field, play 12 men against 12 boys on the Calgary team, and score more points and allow fewer points than they do on a regular basis, and we will succeed more than we did last year. How's that?
You have to slow it down for them that much?
Yeah, I know. For a second, I thought I was surprised, but then I remember, hey, Riders fans, can't count, am I right?
That's right. Well, I got Rider Girl on next, Stefanie, and she's probably one of the cooler Rider fans. Actually, I think she's one of the only cool Rider fans, and she's not like the rest of them, but guys, thanks for coming out. I'm going to go hit this interview up with her. I'm going to tell her what we talked about here, and she's just going to look. She's like, you know what? I really hate my people. That is what she's going to say, because she is one of the coolest Rider fans. So Steph joins me on the Section O podcast. For people that don't know, you housed me, Jay, Peter, your buddy Travis, and your friend Alana at Grey Cup in Regina, and we basically turned your house into a fun zone.
It was the party central, that's for sure.
I was having a tough time trying to get a hotel room. Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm probably the only person who returned their hotel room in Regina, and I'll get to that story in a second. But I was having a tough time trying to find a room, and I was sitting in the movie theater, actually, of all places, And I put on Twitter, I says, hey, can somebody hook me up with a room in Regina? Because there was just nothing available. And then you come on, you're like, yo, party at my house. And I'm like, really? And it's, yeah. So we show up. You basically got the couch mattress rolled out. Peter slept on, like, a random couch you had. You piled, 3 people into your room. Were you afraid that shit was going to get broken in your house, knowing us?
I was actually afraid the entire building was going to blow up.
Well, it's not a party until something burns down, right?
I guess so.
Walk me through that Grey Cup. What are you thinking now? You got, oh man, I'm housing all these people. It's going to be 4 days of just pure drunk fest. What's going through your mind?
Well, once the riders made it into it, I was just like, I'm just going to drink the whole weekend. That's what I always do at Grey Cup, so I don't generally really remember what happens at Grey Cup half the time anyways. So I'm like, it's just going to be a party, and they like to party, and I like to party, and we can all party in harmony.
We started it off pretty quick, because we were driving down there. We picked you up at the convention center on the Thursday night, and you were half... Yeah, we did. Actually, right before that, I got in a massive argument with Jay. Did I ever tell you this?
No, but I knew you guys were fighting because you guys couldn't find out where to go, and I was like dropping pins on my map. I'm like, I'm right here.
I had reversed east and west on Google Maps, and so we started driving down the wrong way on the road, and Jay's like, I want to ask for directions. I'm like, no, I got it. So I turned my phone the other way, so like north actually faced north. And then Jay's like, no, I'm asking for directions. I was like, motherfucker, we don't need to ask for directions. And anyway, we yelled at each other for about 45 seconds straight. Then there was that awkward 2-minute silence. And then it's like, okay, let's go pick up Stefanie now at the convention center. That is how we kicked off the 2013 Grey Cup. And then the next night, I puked in your sink.
Yeah, I was like, woke up in the morning, I'm like, something smells in my kitchen. I was like, who the fuck puked in my sink?
The funny thing about that is I didn't even know I did it. You had to tell me. You sent me it. Actually, Jay's like, hey, who puked in the sink? And he's looking at me like, you did it. And I've like, yeah, you puked in her sink. We woke up and there was like puke in the sink. For people that don't know, we were at the convention center and we went and we just power drank like everybody else does. And came back and that's when we cracked open that bottle of Sailor Jerry and it was just game over from there.
Well, I had never had Sailor Jerry. And you're like, oh, it's the best.
It is the best. It's potent stuff. It's just straight diesel fuel. It will ruin your life if you're not careful. It ruined my Friday night.
It will make you puke in the sink if you're not
It'll
careful.
Make you puke in the sink. Who cleaned it? You? You just ran the tap?
I was like, I don't know what else to do, so I cleaned the sink. And then, so I don't know what was funnier, that you puked in my sink or that I cleaned it.
What did Travis and Alana say? Like, oh, God, here we go. Friday morning. We've been with these guys for less than 5 hours. We've already got puke in the sink. Were any of them concerned going like, oh, that's it. We're getting arrested?
Well, Travis, he's like old and stuff, so he just rolls his eyes most of the time. He's just like, oh, we're fucked. But when Travis got to town, he did shots of tequila. So he also meant business, but...
Tequila. See, I got a funny story about tequila, and it involves my friend Jason. We were in a bar in Edmonton, and he saw this girl that he likes from the University of Alberta. This is back, I think, 2007, 2008. She's with this guy. And Jason's like, oh, screw it. She's with this guy. I don't want anything to do with him. And so we keep egging him on. We're like, no, Jason, you can win this round. You can do this. So he goes over, starts talking to her. I guess they knew each other. And buys her a drink. And it was shooter tequila. And they both slam it down. And then about 2 seconds later, she pukes all over his shirt.
Oh, no.
From then on, I've never touched tequila. Jay won't do tequila. Jason Postma will not do tequila. Like, we have sworn off tequila. But, like, Sailor Jerry's any better at 46%, right?
I'm going to keep that in mind at Grey Cup this year, and I'm going to bring the tequila.
We met at the 2012 Grey Cup, actually.
I think so. I think that was the one in Toronto. Yeah, I think that's when I met you, the Thursday night at Ryderville.
Yeah, because it was bunk dead. The only party that was open was Edmonton and Ryderville, and we decided to go to Ryderville to get it out of the way early. And it was me, you, Peter, Jay's mom and dad, and then like maybe 5 other people, and we just tore up the dance floor for the rest of the night.
Yeah, we were like the only people there.
I know, wasn't it awesome? We had the dance floor to ourselves.
It was so fun.
And then at, was it Ryderville last year? The dance floor was dead. And then we showed up, and then everybody just congregated back on the dance floor again.
Because I made them play center field.
Yes, I remember that. You were screaming it for like 10 minutes. Center field, Fogarty! And then finally, like, the guy managed to hear you, and he's like, all right, we know this. First couple of strums to the guitar, and then everybody just massive pile right to the dance floor. Do you have that way with people? Like, you seem to be very outgoing and very outspoken. Like, are you able, in not a football setting, to get a dance floor rocking?
Oh, absolutely. I just like to have a good time.
Speaking of good times, after the Riders won the Grey Cup, you guys went out for karaoke that night at the Pump, hey?
Yeah, we went, I don't even know where we went. We walked down the street, and then I was crying, and I was just so excited, and I was drinking out of people's alcohol out of their backpacks, and I didn't know who they were, and the cops were high-fiving everyone, and I was just so excited, and then, yeah, we went to the Pump, and you can karaoke in the basement, but we're all, like, wearing our winter boots singing S Club 7. In the
S
bar.
Club 7 karaoke?
In the bar, yeah.
Awesome, because we went to the restaurant across the street from your house after the game because we were just so hungry. And Jay goes, oh, God, Riders won the Grey Cup. You know they're kicking the door down at 4 a.m. when they get thrown out of the bar and waking us up. Because we had to leave at like 7:30 in the morning the next day because I had to work at 6 that night. Sure as shit, you, Travis, and Alana boot the door down, 4 a.m., and just, the Riders won the Grey Cup. Everybody wake. And we were pissed.
I'm pretty sure I, like, jumped on your bed.
You did. You did jump on my bed. And as a matter of fact, did you ever find those socks that I left behind?
I don't think so. Why, did you leave socks in there for me?
Yeah, I totally forgot to bring, I had to wear my, those big green knee-high socks that I wear with my winter uniform with the Esks because I'd left my socks at your house somehow. I went home almost barefoot.
Oh, I did not know that.
Did you find any other mysterious things at your house after housing all these people for the weekend?
Other than a giant mess and puke in my sink, not really.
No, giant mess, no, we cleaned it up. As a matter of fact, you guys gave a shit for waking you up for cleaning it up.
I was actually pretty impressed that you guys, like, made your beds up and, like, folded stuff together. I'm like, holy.
Yeah, you're just thinking, like, big, typical man cave mess, just shit everywhere and just sleep and ditch.
No, you didn't, though. It was good. I was really hungover, but you did clean up.
I mean, you did house us for free, and we bought you some booze in return. So if anybody else is listening, if you want to save us some money on a hotel room, we're really, really good tenants. So anybody in Winnipeg or Toronto, we're super good tenants.
Because I texted you the one night, and I was like, I want food, and you even put a pizza in the oven for me for when I got home.
No, we did. We did. That was the Friday night. We're like,
yeah.
Oh, we're home first. And he was like, yeah, pizza in the oven. It was ready to go when you guys came in. Drunk.
So you guys are clean, and you made me food.
Isn't that what every woman wants out of a man?
Yeah, for them to be clean and make me food. Absolutely.
Yes. And buy you things, right?
Especially alcohol.
Especially alcohol. Like, screw diamond rings. It's all about the booze.
I think so.
Are you a Pilsner drinker?
Yeah, it just tastes good.
That's the champagne of Saskatchewan, hey?
It really is. Well, when I first moved here, I felt like it was an obligation, and then now I can't drink anything else.
Is that why you're probably one of the cooler Rider fans that I know, is that you're imported into Regina?
Maybe. Yeah, it must be it. Because I really am the coolest Rider fan.
You break every single stereotype that the world has of Rider fans. And that's why I wanted to get you on this show, because the last 2 episodes, me and Rory just rip into you guys. And, Rider fans are this and that. And like, no, you know what? I actually know a really super cool human being who is a Rider fan. Tell me, why do you guys think you get a bad rap around the league?
I don't even know really why. Everyone just is out to get us, and it's like, oh, you know, the biggest rivalry is with the Eskimos, or it's with the Bombers, and it's like everywhere you go, it's like they're like our biggest rivals, and so then everybody just automatically hates us. Like, you guys automatically hate Calgary, and so it's like, well, we do too, but we're just out to have a good time, but we just drink so much, and sometimes we're too obnoxious, and everyone's just too serious half the time. I just like to have a good time, and obviously I love football and whatnot, but it's all about having a good time, and you win some and you lose some, and at the end of the day, just get drunk and party.
When we were hanging out at your place, your mom was pretty out of control, too. Do you think you inherit some of the party atmosphere from her?
She did a keg stand, and she's like 53 years old.
I wish my mom did a keg stand.
Like, she's unreal cool. I would say so. Like, she's just a good time, too. We just like to have a good time.
Is it girls gone wild when you get together?
Yeah, like, all football season, all we do is, like, drink. Then we go to games, and we're like, why are we so drunk right now? And, because it's just patio, and, you're on the patio drinking, and then you go to a football game, and it's beautiful out, and, yeah, our summers involve a lot of alcohol.
So what's the pre-Rider game routine? What do you do?
We actually usually go to the press box. It's not too far from the stadium, and we go there and we drink out on the patio. And then they have a bus that takes you right to the stadium, drops you off, and takes you back there after, which is nice because, well, the stadium's like right in the hood, and it's impossible to like park anywhere or get a cab there or anything. So that kind of works out best. And then we usually go back there after and drink and have a good time.
That practice field is pretty out of control before the game too, hey?
Yeah, if people have like never been to a game in Regina, I always take them there. I'm like, you have to go to our tailgate party. And everyone's like, oh, tailgate parties. I'm like, no, like everybody goes to tailgate party. It's like out on the practice field, and there's music and burgers and hot dogs and alcohol. What more do you want before a football game?
We went to the first Rider game in 2007. First time I've ever been to Regina. And we were told before going, like, yeah, you need to go to the practice field. Like, it's the place to be before the game. So here's me and Jay. I think this is our first Eskimos road trip outside of Calgary, right? And we get there, and it's just wall-to-wall traffic on the practice field, and everybody's having a good time. And we're all getting razzed, and I have a big sign that says, Andy Fantus does girl push-ups. We're walking around talking to people, and Buddy taps Jay on the shoulder. He's like, hey, go talk to that lady over there. Okay. So we go over, show him the sign. Andy Fantus' mom.
Oh my goodness.
I have a picture of it. We have a picture with her holding the sign that her son does girl push-ups.
That's hilarious.
Have you ever had the Long Island iced tea at Taylor Field? We heard
It's
that's
like,
pretty epic as well.
It's like juice. It's my favorite thing. And my mouth like waters in the off season just waiting for them. Like next Friday at 7:30, I cannot wait to have one. Like they just taste so good.
Yeah, that's another thing we were told to have is the Long Island iced tea. The game that we went to, Jay buys a few, I buy a few, and we go back to our seats and we're just drinking these things, and all we're like, oh man, this tastes like shit. Like, I can't taste the booze in this at all. Jay goes, I'm gonna go get a beer. Stands up, awkward pause for about a half a second, sits back down, nope, I'm not moving. And that was probably after, I think, 3 or 4. He's like, man, these things are potent. They are deceptively terrible for your liver. And I think that's why I enjoy them so much. But they're also super dangerous. Like Jell-O shots, they catches up to you right quickly.
And they're so good. Like, that's why they're good, is that they just taste delicious. They also have, like, pink lemonade and vodka, too. Those taste pretty good, too.
Never had that one. I stuck to the Pilsner, and then when I got diagnosed with celiac disease, I can't have beer anymore. So I was like, perfect. The ultimate alternative is the Long Island iced tea at Regina. Do you ever try to duplicate it at your house?
I can't. I've gone everywhere and, like, tried Long Island iced teas, like, anywhere you go, and they never taste as good as they do at Taylor Field.
It's like the sluice juice from the Spirit of Edmonton room, no matter how hard you try, because all it is vodka, orange juice, and Mountain Dew. But no matter how hard you try, you cannot duplicate the sluice juice that they have at the Spirit of Edmonton breakfast.
It just doesn't taste as good.
Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Any predictions for the game on Saturday night?
Go Riders go. That's about all I got. We're going to win, obviously. But
Confident, but not cocky. I like that.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. It's interesting. It's in Fort Mac, but
it's kind of a bit out of the way for us at this time, but we'll be there July 9th at Commonwealth Stadium against the Red Blacks.
Oh, there you go. That'll be good.
Cool. Thanks for coming on the show, Steph. We'll see you later.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That wraps up episode 3 of the Section O podcast. On a serious note, the other day, the Edmonton Police Service suffered a line-of-duty death, Constable Dan Woodall. In the information box below, click a link, details on how to donate to his trust fund to support his family, and how you can also donate to the Edmonton Police Foundation. So get on that, guys. Let's raise a bunch of money for him and his family and support your Edmonton Police. We have a special ending to the Section O podcast. Section GP, Section Peace River, you guys are back. Send me out of this podcast.
Sweet home Alberta, where our flag is so blue. Alberta. Saskatchewan, screw you. Go, Esks, go! Go,